Good morning, and here is this week's food for thought. I just want to let you know that I'm just not ready for Christmas to be over, and I don't know if you feel the same way too. I mean, I just continue to keep being excited about Christmas and the whole Christmas season and all the stories about Christmas. And I know tomorrow we're going to be celebrating Epiphany, which is when the wise men brought the gifts to Jesus, recognizing who he was, not only as the king, but also as deity, and also recognizing what he had done and what he was yet to do in his life. But I started pulling out my Christmas CDs, and a song that I keep going back to is a song entitled The 12 Days of Christmas. Have you ever heard of that song? You know, I grew up with this song. You know, I looked at this song as a countdown to Christmas, a countdown song often sung, and I often sung it along with John Denver and the Muppets. And I've done that since I was a young child, and in fact, I've continued to carry on that tradition, not only now, but I continue to carry it on as a parent as well. But as I was listening to the song the other day, I started to think, boy, those are really some strange gifts that were given by a true love. And so I wanted to do some research on these gifts and to look a little bit further as to what these gifts really stood for. But when I found out the meaning, it brought a whole new meaning to not only the song, The 12 Days of Christmas, but further to the Christian message. Now let me break it down. I'm going to go through these days. Each day is my true love gave to me, and it's broken down into a 12-day calendar, and it's done in a countdown, and you go through continually repeating these gifts as such. But on the first day it says, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. Now the first gift is a partridge, which is a small bird similar to a quail or a grouse. This partridge was known as a valiant bird, willing to fight to the death in order to defend its young. This is an ancient symbol, though, of Jesus. And the pear tree represents the cross. So even at the beginning of Christmas, we see that Christmas is all about the cross. The second day, 2 turtle doves. For hundreds of years, Jewish families used turtle doves as offerings to God, as required by the law. It is a reminder of the sacrifice offered by Jesus for Jesus on behalf of Mary and Joseph. Mary and Joseph gave the sacrifice when Jesus was 40 days old in the Temple of Jerusalem, as recorded in Luke chapter 2, verses 22 and 24. And then on the third day, the 3 French hens. Now, French hens were valuable poultry during the 16th century. Only rich people could afford this type of poultry, this type of bird. And these costly birds, well, you know what? They symbolize the 3 valuable gifts given to Jesus by the Magi. The fourth day, well, we see the 4 calling birds. These 4 are reminders of the 4 gospel writers, the 4 calling out the message, the good news of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You see, the 5th day, golden rings. Now, when you look at that, these are among the most valuable and treasured gifts of all the gifts. In fact, they pause and they stop and they sing, and there's great emphasis behind the 5 golden rings. Miss Piggy sings it in the Muppets. You know, the 5 golden rings represent the Pentateuch, or known as the Torah: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. They were treated by the Jews with great reverence and considered to be more valuable than gold, because it talked about their creation. It talked about as well the creation of the nation of Israel. On the 6th day, 6 geese a laying. Now, eggs symbolize new life. Now, the geese laid the eggs. 6 geese a laying becomes reminders of the 6 days of creation, of the story in Genesis chapter 1. As we go through, we see God created on 6 days. And when God, through his spoken word, brought forth life, and all life came on earth. The 7th day, 7 swans a swimming. 7 swans symbolize the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit, as recorded in Romans chapter 12, verses 6 through 8. The 8th day, 8 maids of milking. These represent the 8 Beatitudes. You know, the ones where it starts off in the Sermon on the Mount, blessed are those. When Jesus spoke on the Sermon on the Mount, the greatest sermon ever preached, it helps nurture and strengthen us as much as milk helped to strengthen a child as they continue to grow in their walk and their faith. The 9th day, 9 ladies dancing. These are the 9 different fruits of the Spirit, the 9 different characteristics of that fruit produced in the lives of children, as recorded in Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 and 23. The 10th day, 10 lords a leaping. Well, the lords were men with authority to command people to obey them. Now, this symbolizes the 10 Commandments. The Ten Commandments, when God set up his ethical code and his moral code of what he expected of us as believers. 11th day, 11 pipers piping. Well, that represents the 11 apostles who were chosen by Jesus and remained faithful. You see, there were 12, but Judas Iscariot didn't remain faithful, and he betrayed Jesus. So this symbolizes those 11 other men that were appointed as apostles that followed Jesus, and they piped with an everlasting tune of great joy the salvation message of Jesus Christ. And then the 12th day, 12 drummers drumming, the Apostles' Creed. You see, just like drummers beating out a loud, steady rhythm, set forth the beliefs of those who call themselves Christians. So why don't you pull back out that CD? Why don't you pull back out even that Muppet CD if you have it, a John Denver and the Muppets? And why don't you stop and recognize and realize that this is not just a Christmas song, but a song of our true love Jesus Christ and what he has done for us. And go forward and let others know how much and how awesome our God is. Well, until next time.